Hi, I'm Ollie. Welcome to Possibility Space. Today I'm going to read you The Monstering of Gary Lineker. It's been exactly 2 months since Israel unilaterally broke the ceasefire that it itself agreed to. Since then, it's killed over 3,000 people. It continues to illegally starve the entire Gaza Strip. All of this sets the stage for Operation Gideon's Chariots. Its planners claim that, quote, Gaza will be entirely destroyed, which will push Palestinians to, quote, leave in great numbers to third countries. They are, of course, talking about ethnic cleansing. Gary Lineker opposes all of this. He embodies a bog-standard, middle-of-the-road British sentiment on Gaza. Lineker, like 3 in 4 Britons, believes that Israel is committing war crimes, supports an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, and opposes Israel's plan to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Every polling indicator is trending against Israel. Indeed, Lineker is actually much friendlier to the pariah state than the next generation of celebrities will be. Most young people in the UK do not even believe that Israel should exist. The kids are all right. Lineker is, politically speaking, the median British dad. But our media is so warped that an ex-footballer who just hates kids being killed is being presented as some kind of militant. A right-wing smear campaign has attacked Lineker for standing up for immigrants and making fun of the Tories. It kicked into overdrive when he had the gall to say, quote, I can't bear looking at little children being killed constantly. It finally got him this week when Lineker stupidly reposted an Instagram story about the history of Zionism. The content itself was totally sound, but a previous reposter had overlaid an image of a rat, which is a classic anti-Semitic trope. Lineker apologized. Quote, I shared a post here on Instagram that contained an emoji that has awful connotations. Unfortunately, I did not see the emoji. If I had, I would never ever have shared it. The minute I was made aware, I deleted the post and went on to make an apology. I would like once again to say that I'm sorry unreservedly for the hurt and upset caused. It was a genuine mistake and oversight, but I should have been more diligent. He's right, he should have been more careful. It was an accident, but a disastrously reckless one. It's okay to have average dad politics, but average dad's social media judgment isn't well suited to such a highly scrutinized role. The British press loves 2 things, a fallen celebrity and a chance to criticize the BBC, so they've jumped on this story. What the press haven't done is inform their audience about the dodgy backgrounds of the campaigners demanding Lineker's head. Shall we do their job for them? So, who are Lineker's critics? First up, we've got Telegraph journalist Nicole Lampert. She's a long-standing critic of Lineker. She thinks that the N-word is free speech, and once wrote a eulogy for a Sun journalist who killed his wife. She's very critical of rat imagery, except when she employs it herself. She is far from the only Telegraph writer to compare people to vermin. In her column, Lampert writes, who else would not only be allowed a whacking great salary, but to set up a media company which is a rival to the BBC? You're getting sidetracked, Nicole. This was supposed to be about anti-Semitism, but as you asked, the obvious comparison would be Robbie Gibb. Gibb is Theresa May's former spin doctor and was a Tory-appointed BBC director. He now holds a non-executive director role on the BBC's board. Gibb purchased the Jewish Chronicle, a right-wing newspaper that regularly attacks Lineker and the BBC, on behalf of an anonymous consortium while he was director of the BBC. As is the case with many of Lineker's critics, Lampert's argument amounts to do as we say but not as we do. Right-wing activist David Atherton also decried Lineker's, quote, online radicalization. This was a bit rich coming from a man who falsely claimed that a Palestinian immigrant committed the murder that caused last year's Southport riots. Atherton's pre-riot incitement reached 2.4 million people on Twitter alone. He also shared a shockingly racist image of Lineker, photoshopped to be a brown-faced Muslim with rat ears. Nicole Lampert thanked Atherton for his support. Ewan Phillips is a pro-Israel campaigner. He's not Jewish, so he sometimes adopts a false Jewish name to lend Semitic credence to his complaints. His group, Labour Against Anti-Semitism, took a break from filing anti-Semitism complaints against Jewish members of the Labour Party in order to attack Lineker. The anti-Palestinian bigotry of some of the organisation's founders have seen them kicked off of social media platforms. Another Lineker critic was GB News' Josh Howie. He deplores dehumanising animal imagery apart from when he's using it himself. Howie spreads the Pallywood conspiracy theory. He claims that crisis actors are faking the horrors they're experiencing in Gaza. He once looked at an image of a dead Palestinian and declared that it was actually a silicon doll. Jake Wallace-Simmons is another Telegraph columnist. He has a history of making false allegations about Muslim groups. He took a break from tweeting stuff like, quote, "Much of Muslim culture is in the grip of a death cult that sacralizes bloodshed," so that he could accuse Lineker of bigotry. These are not serious people. They are opportunists enabled by a British press that's too cosy and too right-wing to take them to task. They have found a win button, and they're going to continue mashing that button until it stops delivering the outcome that they want. The smear campaign against people who see Palestinians as people is far bigger than Lineker. It's targeted actors, athletes, activists, directors, MPs, journalists, and many more. Most recently, it claimed that beloved children's entertainer and educator Miss Rachel was funded by Hamas. The campaign is so shameless and scattershot that it once labelled a journalist a terrorist on the grounds that he happened to be born on October 7th, long before the events of 2023. Lineker made a mistake and apologised, but his critics are repeat offenders and they're completely unapologetic. It is obvious from everything that Lineker has said on a wide range of issues that he's driven by compassion for suffering. He has paid a huge, escalating, and entirely predictable price for his dissent. I point all of this out to drive home a simple point. The price of opposing Israel's genocide is far too high in Britain, and the price of being an Islamophobic wingnut is far too low. If we want peace and justice, we're going to have to balance the scales. Thank you for listening. I hope you found that interesting and insightful. Possibility Space is a listener-supported podcast. You can subscribe for free on whatever app you're listening to this on right now, or you can become a paid supporter on Substack. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.